Welcome to the Elite Podcast Network, home of the #1 independent wrestling coverage, available on iTunes, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net and join the revolution now.
Welcome back to the Elite Podcast Network. Welcome to Wrestling Heads Radio. I am Skids, and I'm joined with Tom. And from Weekly Wrestling Podcast, you got my boy Matt. What's going on?
Yeah, because Scar's late, man. Come on. Somebody's got to pick up the slack.
Just another weeknight. A lot of stuff going on in wrestling, as always. Never a boring day.
And before we start the show, it's crazy because the man who is missing actually came up with this whole idea of the show, and that is Oscar. He came up with this topic today, and the man is nowhere to be found. But today's topic, we'll be talking about Daniel Bryan's health, and should he retire? If he retires, what direction should the WWE go? Et cetera, et cetera. And we are encouraging listeners to call up and put their thoughts on what they think about Daniel Bryan's future.
Why'd you avoid saying 2 cents? Can I ask?
I was just going to ask the same thing.
Did you notice? You noticed that?
Oh, man. Big time.
Oh, shit. But, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. Again, the number is 347-945-5566. We might as well get into it. For those that don't know, Daniel Bryan has been pulled off the tour that the WWE is having right now, out of the States right now, and it's because I'm from what I read, it's because now he has a concussion from Sheamus. I guess the match with Sheamus, Sheamus gave him a concussion, and the WWE, they want to basically give the guy a break, and they want to put him in matches and tag team matches and stuff, so he won't because we know what type of style he has already, and Bryan, the dude is crazy when he's just all over the place when he's in the ring, and basically they're just keep him safe. Because they want him to have a long career with the organization. You got your thoughts on Daniel Bryan's health now, and the question is, should he retire, or do you think the WWE is doing the right thing?
Tom, I'll let you start.
Go. You can start, Matt.
Honestly, it's a weird situation, what's going on with Daniel Bryan. Everybody thought he was all right, thought he should be in the main event, and then they put him in a ladder match, I think an even worse predicament than he could have been in for WrestleMania, and I think that kind of played a big role. Not only that, man, WWE wrestlers are 300 days a year and more going. There's only so much you can hold up for. There's only so much you can do in that ring before you can really have to readjust your style, and I think Daniel Bryan's going to have to really start thinking about that.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting situation because, of course, Daniel Bryan's past, with his neck injury, and now, concussions, of course, are something in all sports that it's not something to take lightly. It's something very serious, and especially, I think, with wrestling, it's being taken more seriously than ever, which is a positive thing. So they want to be cautious. And it's funny because I see a lot of people online already, pointing the finger at Sheamus. And, it's not his fault. Look at what Daniel Bryan's been doing ever since he came back. He's throwing headbutts like it's nothing. He's getting dropped on his head by Luke Harper on a SmackDown, which doesn't mean anything. So, I think a lot of the responsibility is on Daniel Bryan, but that's just the type of worker he is, I don't think he ever wanted to change his style too much. He wants to go out there and be the same old guy that he was in Ring of Honor and, even before he came to the WWE. I don't know. It's definitely a situation where Daniel Bryan needs to be cautious of what he's doing going forward. Do I think he should retire right now? No. I don't, unless it's something really serious, unless there is something going on with his neck as well. A concussion, you should take seriously and he should take time off, but, it shouldn't put him out of action forever. But it's going to be Daniel Bryan trying to taking things a little bit more easily, not maybe not doing headbutts or getting dropped on his head or all these different things. It's just kind of taking an easier approach. I don't think he's going to retire anytime soon unless he goes to the doctors and something serious comes up.
I think there's really only one word to describe this situation.
Jesus! This guy. One thing I was going to say, I actually was going to ask, because, there's ever since Sheamus just came back, there's been a lot of, heat with him, basically saying that he's been, wrestling, like, reckless. Just like you mentioned, people are starting to point the finger at Sheamus, but do we point the finger at Sheamus? Because we got this report, there's been reports out there about Sheamus, his style is very reckless since he's become a heel. So, do we point the finger at Sheamus, on this concussion?
No, I don't think so. It's one thing if a guy is doing it on purpose, but it's just the type of worker that Sheamus is. He's a stiff, hard-hitting worker, and people know this. I think a lot of people know this, and we didn't get to see a lot of it because he was the good old Sheamus who was a face, and the kids loved him and all that. So we didn't get to see that aggressive side that I think Sheamus wanted to to show everybody, and he's working a little stiffer, and I think that's fine. Like I said, I don't think it's fault. It could have been an accident. I don't think Sheamus meant to give Bryan a concussion. I don't think that was his intent. But stuff like that happens. Look how stiff they work over in Japan, and they don't get concussions regularly. It's just all it takes is one time. But I don't know. I just don't think that pointing the finger at Sheamus is the right or appropriate thing to do at this time.
So, Skits, what you're trying to imply right now is that Sheamus is the new Ryback?
Well, I'm not going to say that. I'll say it like this. I say Sheamus is he's definitely 10 times better.
Hey, what do you have against the big guy?
Let's not go there with the big guy. I don't want to be the guy. The guy's a bum. So, Sheamus, I'm just saying, like, the reports are out there. The first two guys he went at when he first came back was Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. And I believe some of the matches that he had, like, I'm just going by what the reports were saying that, the guy's very reckless in the ring right now. But who knows? Just like Tom said, you can't really blame Sheamus. you know, we all know Sheamus was a hard-hitting wrestler before he was a heel. Like, if you want to watch the matches with him and Cesaro, you know, him and Barrett, you know, I mean, he's always been like that, but it's probably pause on like what I'm gonna say harder. So, but yeah, I don't know. But I ready to share my thoughts on the whole Daniel thing. I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan. Everybody knows that. His style, I'm pretty sure he can keep his style on like what he's got going right now. Maybe slow it down just a little bit, you know. Do I think he should retire? I don't know. It would be nice to have him around, because I know if he was to retire, it would be very different in the organization. You know, what's going to happen then? Things would change. Things would change.
Besides the new Intercontinental Champion, would things really change?
It would. Besides, then that means I'm pretty sure we'll see more of like John Cena playing that big face role. Besides, you know, because you had Daniel Bryan too as like the second face role guy, like the fans will look up to. It'll be back to, you know, the whole John Cena era again. I would think.
I don't think so. I think just out of per se, you know, if somehow Daniel Bryan had to retire tomorrow, which I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's going to happen. Just talking.
Do me a favor real quick. Hold that thought, because we have somebody that's showing up at 8:41.
Jesus!
Here's Oscar.
What's going on, guys?
Wow, somebody decided to come on the show eventually.
Yeah, I have an excuse.
Are we too good for you, man?
Staples Center. Well, I work at Dodger Stadium and Staples Center, so yeah, the Lakers are losing right now, so that's why I'm taking my break.
Wow.
But anyways, Daniel Bryan. Well, as a fan, I don't want him to retire, but the way how he's doing, I mean, if I was in his shoes, I probably would consider it, because first of all, look at the injury he's taking right now. He has a neck injury. All right, he has a problem. He has a history. Just look at Edge. All right, right towards the end of his career, he started feeling, you know, his nerves were going away at one point. So if Daniel Bryan's feeling the same way, you know,
Plus, I'm sure, honestly, he's made, like AJ Lee, he's made enough money to which he'll never fucking have to work a day in his life again.
Hope so. But at the same time, you gotta think about this though. You know, if he's considered retiring, you know, I think it's gonna suck for the WWE, because they just lost another, you know, marketable product. The guesting, shirt, all that could be gone. I think the only way, if he wants to stay in the business, is somehow he gets used as some kind of authority figure, like a GM or something. And you can have him, you know, have that moment going. You can still have shirts, but he won't be wrestling in the ring. I think that's the best way it could go.
You know,
but let's just hope his neck injury he has right now doesn't affect him going to retire like next week or so. So let's just see what happens. You know, and there's all these reports that he might not even wrestle at Extreme Rules. So that's a scary thought there.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Matt. Like, he really doesn't have to wrestle no more. The guy can make money. It's like that. I mean,
yeah.
Even if
the guy can make money anyway, doing signings, doing indie appearances for fucking $10,000. Fucking Rey Mysterio.
He's not even wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's in the point where he could wrestle in the indies, but I mean,
I'm saying, I don't even know why we mentioned the indies.
Just make crazy indie appearances for like $10,000, like Rey Mysterio does.
or like what Bret Hart to just go to an indie show to sign.
Oh yeah, go to an indie show and sign, and then walk out halfway through a signing. That's a good time. Good job, Bret Hart.
Wow. Bret Hart getting buried here on WH Radio.
See,
wow.
but the thing about Daniel Bryan...
And, one more thing, and that was a 4 out of 10.
The thing about Daniel Bryan that I think really separates him from a lot of the guys is, you know, a lot of the wrestlers I think would admit defeat and say, okay, you know what, maybe I should get out of here. Maybe I should, you know, do signings and I have enough money to retire. But Daniel Bryan, I think, just like a different species where he's going to go out there and he is going to wrestle until he can no longer.
He's going to Randy the Ram himself. God damn it.
Yeah. It's funny because he kind of reminds me of like what I remember reading Sabu was talking about, and then Sabu said he wants to go into that ring until he dies in the ring. So it's that type of mentality, and you know, you can see it by WWE wanting to tone down his style and him saying, nope, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to throw headbutts. I'm going to get dumped on my head. Fuck you. It's just the type of guy that Daniel Bryan is. And I think he's going to keep going until somebody steps in and says, you can't do this anymore.
I agree.
Yeah. My question to you guys and to anybody listening, if Daniel Bryan was to retire, what direction do you think the WWE should go? Start with you. Go ahead.
You see, this is an
interesting.
Yeah, this is an interesting scenario, man. If Daniel Bryan were to retire, we'd obviously have to figure out the Intercontinental title situation. Now, do you bring somebody up from NXT and immediately give them the Intercontinental title? Do you work with somebody that's already on the main roster?
You can go both ways.
Yeah, exactly. You can go several ways in this situation. I feel like you go the NXT route, though. I feel like you bring somebody up. Maybe even use Neville.
You honestly don't need to do that. I was going to say you can use Neville. Neville's your guy. You can even use Bray Wyatt if you wanted to.
I see that. I don't want to see that. I think that's a step below what he's doing. He's been working with John Cena. He's been working with The Undertaker. I think you just need to keep him at that upper mid-card level where he's not really touching the titles, but he's kind of doing his own thing. So he kind of becomes like The Undertaker, where working with Bray Wyatt is kind of like a mystique in its own thing.
Well, there's a little problem I hear with I see with the Intercontinental. If he's going to retire today, unfortunately, the Intercontinental is going to be vacant. I just don't know. Like, as a fan for so many years of the Intercontinental Championship has been, you know, and I've been seeing the whole, like, past couple of years, how it's been, you know, unprestigious the last couple of years. It's just difficult to see, like, how can an NXT guy just come in and take the title? You know, I don't like it when
look at the first couple of weeks. Look at the first couple of weeks. Look at the first couple of weeks already, man. Like, Neville's already had some big main event matches.
I know. I understand, Neville. I understand, but maybe because I'm too old school, I'd rather see
you
guys
think about the future.
Way up. I know, but that's the future. I mean, I think Neville will be near contract down the road. But I'm saying,
let's hear your point of view. Who would you think the title should go on? I'm kind of curious.
Hate to say it, but Arya Bray Wyatt, the way it is right now, I mean, because I think the way they want to do it is have main eventers carry the Intercontinental title. So if Daniel Bryan is out, I don't think Wade Barrett is the answer. They want to show some life in the Intercontinental Championship. So I think the best way to put Bray Wyatt, he lost.
Between Barrett and Bryan, they're both injury prone.
I think if you, right now, hypothetically speaking, if we had to put a new Intercontinental title on somebody tomorrow, I think right now the perfect choice is Sheamus. I'm sorry, but he right now is just getting started, I think, on a great heel run, and putting the title on him and, you know, making it so face after face try and get that title, but he hangs on to it like it's nothing, and he brags, you know, because it's the Intercontinental title. It's not, you know, the United States title, so Sheamus brags that, you know, look, it's supposed to be on somebody who wasn't born in the United States, I don't want to go the route.
You could also even go the Ring of Honor route and kind of do a Jay Lethal, Jay Briscoe thing, saying I'm the real world champion, I'm the champion you guys should be paying attention to, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and Sheamus could say, look I'm a former world heavyweight champion and a former WWE champion. And
I'm with that Sheamus shit.
Well, I mean, I kind of view it. Tom Sheamus with the Intercontinental title will not be a bad choice. But my problem is that will the creative do something right? Like, will you put him in a right feud? Dolph Ziggler in a Sheamus feud? I don't know about that. I mean,
I do agree with you
there,
man. When Sheamus is a mid-card champion, the way they book him is absolutely horrendous. So I'm totally with you on that, Oscar.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna give that belt to Sheamus, you gotta have to deal with somebody who's been in the main event, like a Roman Reigns, or possibly if you're gonna have Kane turn face, you might have to have him go against Kane.
Why?
But see, that's the thing. No matter who they put the title on, hypothetically speaking, if they had to take the belt off of Bryan.
Okay,
it depends on the booking. It depends on the booking. It doesn't matter who you put the title on. If you book them right, you make them a credible champion. If you book them like shit, the championship is going to look like shit. So it doesn't. I don't think it really matters who you put the title on. It's just up to creative and the booking process to make the feuds and the storylines look like that title is really credible.
I think we should have a crate on a pole match to determine the championship, Vince Russo style.
You see, Tom. I mean, this is why we hope Daniel Bryan does not retire today, because I like what they're doing with your Continental right now. You have him going against Barrett. That's good. You have to have Daniel Bryan go over Barrett. In the next feud, it should be someone who could threaten him for the Intercontinental. Bray Wyatt is part of that guy. We've seen them, feud before in the past.
I have a question.
But
why does that Bray Wyatt? Why can't it be Dean Ambrose? Why can't it be Luke Harper?
Luke Harper, okay, but I mean, you'd rather get somebody who's been in the main event status. Bray Wyatt is that guy. Dean Ambrose, it's cool, but I mean,
I like right now, unless it's for the WWE title, which I don't think they should do with Bray Wyatt for a little bit. But Bray, like I said, the thing about Bray Wyatt, and I think somebody mentioned it, he doesn't need a title. A title doesn't make Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is all about his character. It's all about
he's almost like the new Undertaker. Like I said, working with him is like working with the Undertaker. It's a different thing from a title.
Real quick, guys, we actually have a caller. We have a caller, and I believe I know who it is. From Eyes on the Ring, we have Nathan.
Do we have Nathan?
Hello?
Are you sure?
There we go. What's going on, man?
Can you hear me now? Okay. Not too much. Figured I'd call in, join on the conversation since I'm home on a Thursday, and that rarely happens, so.
What do you think?
About the Daniel Bryan situation?
Yeah, let's start with that, because that's the main topic of the show.
I'm kind of mixed on it, like I am on a lot of things, but if he can't go, meaning if he can't perform on a consistent basis, not like how he was, but like if he can't be safe in the ring, then he probably needs to retire, because I don't want him to end up, A, either in a wheelchair, or B, worse, dead. I hate to say that, but I don't want the guy to die for my entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw what happened to Better a while, so we don't want to be in that situation as well.
No.
Well, and I read an article, and I don't know if you can really take it at face value because there's so many people that write opinion pieces and whatnot, but somebody said that if Daniel Bryan keeps wrestling the way he's wrestling, he could end up being another Chris Benoit. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but I can kind of see where they're coming from. I don't think he snapped the way that Chris Benoit did, but I think he could, his body could break down.
You see, there's two.
Basically, give out on it.
So Chris Benoit and Daniel Bryan thing was two totally different injuries. One, Chris Benoit had head injuries.
I think he brings up an accurate point, though. I think with all the headbutts and all the head trauma, I think the brain Chris Benoit had was like a 90-year-old brain or something, and he was only like 30-something years old. I think Nathan's onto something about that. I think he keeps beating himself up.
I can tell you this: I met both guys already. I met Benoit before actually maybe a year before he passed away. I mean, he was weird. I'll tell you that right now. He was a weird dude. Daniel Bryan, me and Skitch just met the guy. He was a really nice dude. So, I mean, I know the difference between, having a head injury, going through concussions, making you all weird and shit. And next thing you know, you start killing people like Junior Seau did, then having a guy who's really nice to you and all this stuff. And I don't see Daniel Bryan acting like a complete douchebag like Chris Benoit did. So I'm just telling you that right now. I think there's still two different injuries.
I don't like that comparison because I think Chris Benoit, it was a case one of its own. I think it's something that happened to one person that's never going to happen again, especially nowadays. There's a way they treat concussions now, and Bryan is a highly intelligent guy. Even though he can be stubborn, when it comes to his ring work and wanting to wrestle, as many days as he can and wanting to get back from injuries. I think a lot of guys have that sense, but, Bryan wants to do it his own way. But he's intelligent enough to know that if there is a serious problem, he's going to go get tested before something goes wrong.
Yeah, and
so let me ask you a question, Nathan.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the whole title situation, if he was to retire, who do you think the right person is to hold the title, hold the IC title?
There's so many options that you could put, guys that you could put it on. I mean, you could put it on Dolph Ziggler again. You could put it on Wade Barrett again. And I know somebody said that earlier that Bray Wyatt doesn't need a title, but I wouldn't mind them putting it on Bray Wyatt either. Just put it on somebody that can elevate the title and make it important.
You see, that's what I was trying to tell these guys. Bray Wyatt can elevate that title. I mean, okay, the reason why they gave that title to Daniel Bryan is he's a main eventer and he could show life with the Intercontinental title.
How would Bray Wyatt elevate the title when he just lost to The Undertaker, who hasn't been seen in a year? How does putting a title on a guy whose last feud with a guy who's been around once a year and he lost to Brock Lesnar? So how is putting
fair point.
Bray Wyatt?
Okay.
The title could elevate him in a way too, though. If you think about it that way.
I can answer Tom's question on this part. Give him the title, make him look like a strong champion. You have to make him beat guys like Roman Reigns or Dolph Ziggler. So, and I think big names, maybe even a John Cena. You're gonna have to make him look strong to make the Intercontinental title. And you have
that takes it back to WWE bookings.
It doesn't matter who you put the title on. It's all about the booking.
Exactly. Then we go back to bookings on that one because we know how bookings are. They're already over John Cena. They're already Roman Reigns. Come on, they're not gonna lose to fucking Bray Wyatt. Like, we can dream on that one.
Yeah, you see, we saw what the bookings did in the past. I mean, we just saw guys like Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, and Wade Barrett carry the title, and nothing special happened to it. It just seems like when Wade Barrett won it back, they tried to do something with it. That's what he had that feud with Dean Ambrose. Then you have that WrestleMania match. So then I was thinking, okay, they're doing something here. Daniel Bryan wins. Okay.
Hey,
then
you want to be honest?
I'm
going to be honest with you. If you want to be honest, like, if you look, those same guys you just mentioned are the same guys that are going after Daniel Bryan's IC title right now. You still have Wade Barrett going after the title.
Wade Barrett,
and guess what? I guarantee you when Wade Barrett's done, it's going to be somebody else that was in that ladder match going to the IC title. It's going to be the same guys. That's their division.
That's hard for me. It's hard to be. I'm hoping you're wrong. Like, if Daniel Bryan does continue to wrestle on and he moves on with Bray Wyatt, I'm hoping you're wrong, because you need to have someone to threaten him to take the Intercontinental title from him. And sorry, those guys I've seen the name, like R-Truth, Stardust, Luke Harper, maybe, and Dean Ambrose is a maybe, but sorry, but I don't feel it.
Because if you also look at it, those same guys are going after John Cena's U.S. title.
Yeah, but see, John Cena's thing is it's different. They're trying to. I have not seen not one heavyweight guy come out for that challenge. I've seen the same guys that was in that IC title match come down, minus Adrian Neville. Yeah. but you gotta see this though. They're elevating the U.S. title in a different way. They're making John Cena one of their top guys carry that title, and he's having an open challenge. That's a different way. But I mean,
I get you, but it's the same people though. Same people go after the same title.
Oscar, when you brought up the U.S. title, it just reminded me, like, I don't, like, do you guys agree with it? I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but I don't think there needs to be 2 mid-card titles anymore. But that's just my opinion. I mean, we've got 1 tag title, we've got 1 world title. I'm surprised they still have 2 mid-card titles. I mean, it gives people more to go after, but I've never seen the point in having 2 mid-card titles either.
Yeah, you know
maybe
what?
That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I remember in the Attitude Era, it was wasn't a problem when the Intercontinental and the European title was going around. I mean, it seemed like they found something then. They can't do nothing now, but now today, in the last month or so, it seems like they found an idea what to do with these 2 titles. But I like what they're doing with the U.S. title. You have John Cena carried around. People can stop bitching about him being in the main event scene. So, okay, have John Cena fight for the title, which is not his damn a world title, and then show us the importance of it. You know what? I did listen to the JR podcast, and you know what? He made a point. How come the WWE Network doesn't put a show which features the history of the Intercontinental or the U.S. title? Because the younger generation could learn or witness what great matches they had. They could put in matches like from the NWA Mid-Atlantic days when the U.S. title was around, when Ric Flair was the world champion and he was traveling all over the place. He could have been booked on those kind of shows. So the main events were always U.S. title matches. Why not can you put those kind of matches on the network? Those Intercontinental title matches. You can look back at great.
You can do that with any title, though. But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but do you understand? This is for everybody. Do you guys understand one point? Because it's going to be like Bray Wyatt's not going to be in the IC title scene or the U.S. title scene, because if you look at it, let's say every guy that was just about since John started that challenge, most of the guys that have been a part of that challenge were in that IC title match. Yeah, Dean Ambrose already. The fuck is that?
That's the past.
What's the past?
I mean, you're mentioning Dean Ambrose like that was a feud that happened. I'm talking about the future of the Intercontinental title.
You're talking about Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins.
The
future.
This guy.
Future is
I was thinking about it.
I understand what you're saying.
I was thinking of guys that could possibly get into that IC title picture if Daniel Bryan had the title or whatever. I think if Tyson Kidd and Cesaro weren't the tag team champs, both of those guys could be either champion or serious contenders.
I got a shocker, guys. Ooh-ha Nation. No, I'm just playing.
Maybe in 5 years.
That sounds about right.
If Tyson Kidd and Cesaro weren't the tag team champions, I could see one of them easily being in the U.S. title picture, the other one being in the Intercontinental title picture.
Same here.
Yeah.
But
if we're talking about that, I mean, if we could have it our way, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are great tag team champs. It seems like at least the tag team division is going somewhere. It's not very far, but it's
they had a chance to push Cesaro to the moon a year ago, man.
Yeah.
They could have put
and they blew
Cesaro. They could have put Cesaro against Brock Lesnar a year ago. Think about that, guys.
But the thing with Cesaro is I remember somebody mentioned this. The way the WWE booking is they could split up Cesaro and Tyson Kidd tomorrow, and if they properly push Cesaro, he could go back to being as popular as he was a year ago. It's just all about the booking, and like I was saying, if we could have it our way, I'm pretty sure we would want Cesaro in the main event. Imagine a Cesaro versus Seth Rollins feud. That would be incredible.
Yeah, because they're two of my favorite guys in the company right now, so I'd be down with that, but they'll never do that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Another reason they won't do it, the main reason they won't do it is because they're both heels. So there'd be no point, because WWE likes to do either face-face or face-heel, because they think that if they do a heel match, no one will give a shit.
It would be easy to turn Cesaro face, easy. Have him turn on Tyson Kidd, bring the swing back, have him uppercut people into orbit, including Adrian Neville, so he breaks orbit. But, I think Cesaro, when I think of him, I don't think of him as an IC champ. I see a world champion in him, but, that's another.
So do I, but we're not necessarily going to get that, because in a perfect world we would, but just not in the world that WWE is currently in with the insane old man that runs the company.
Yep, I completely see where everybody's coming from in this whole situation. It's very interesting because Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are great singles competitors, but it's
I think they're doing well as a tag team, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's great to see them take chicken shit and make chicken salad.
Because I'm fine with that tag team. But yeah, I know we definitely been going back and forth with the whole IC title. If Daniel Bryan has to retire, what would happen? It's just that, for some reason, I'm thinking WWE, what they would do. They're just going to keep the same guys that are going after the IC title, go after the U.S. title. That's WWE.
What about the WWE World Heavyweight title situation? Does anybody think that Rollins is actually going to hold the title for a while?
Yep, he will.
I think he will.
I think he will, but not as long as, not as long as a lot of people would probably like him to.
To me, what it looks like, it's he could have either all the way to SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania. That's where it looks like to me, because it's the way they're doing the Intercontinental U.S. title, trying to resurrect them and having John Cena, Daniel Bryan out of the picture. Who else could take the title from? I doubt they'll give the title to Randy Orton for 3 months and then give it back to Rollins. I don't see that happening. So
well, you do have the Brock factor still in mind.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he has to keep the title.
That's true. I see Rollins and Brock going at it, but I doubt we're going to see Brock win the title back-to-back SummerSlams in a row. I could see some crazy shit happening, like Brock Lesnar wins the Rumble, then he faces Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I could see that happening.
I mentioned this on Eyes on the Ring on Sunday, and I said that Seth Rollins could be a guy that holds the title for a very long time, meaning 435 days. And the reason I say that is because WWE, if you know the kind of company they are, they're extremely stubborn. And there's this guy by the name of CM Punk who held the belt for 434 days. And I think they want to eventually stricken his name from the record book. And I think Seth Rollins would be the perfect guy to do that with. I don't know if they'll do it, but I would like it to happen. But
he definitely is the perfect guy.
WWE. Yeah.
If you're gonna,
I think Brock would have been the perfect guy to do that. I think if you were going to do that, I think you should have kept the title on Brock.
It would have been perfect to do with his schedule. They could have easily done it, but then they decided to give Seth Rollins the belt. But now
you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they have Seth Rollins beat CM Punk's record, because if you look at the history of WWE, go back when Brock Lesnar left, you know, Randy Orton won the world title as the youngest world heavyweight champion in history. Just like, what, a few months after Brock left, they just, you know, just shoved that in his face.
He beat Benoit.
Yeah. Benoit, I know. And then he won, he won, you know, the title record. And they pretty much did that to shove Brock's face. Now,
but if you notice, too, they still mention when Brock is around now that he's the youngest WWE champion. So they just did that for a time to say that, oh, he's not the youngest world champion, but when he comes around, they still will mention that from time to time. They just didn't want to mention it then because he had a bad falling out with the company at the time.
Yeah. So, yeah, but if you're going with now that CM Punk's in that situation with Brock is, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they have Seth Rollins, you know, pass his record and then just to shove it in CM Punk's face, you know?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up. Because I can see it happening.
But yeah, this definitely was a good topic. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Oscar came up with the idea.
Yes, I did.
A lot of arguing here, a lot of disagreement.
You see, I kind of knew this was going to go down because to be honest, for our listeners, me and Skits were one day we're struggling. What the hell are we going to talk about? Then when the Daniel Bryan news came out, I was like, you know what? Damn, right here. I just knew that if we were patient, we'll find something.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows? Next week, we might talk about AJ Lee might have a sex tape. We might have to talk for 15 minutes about that.
What?
Wait, what?
In your dreams,
Oscar.
Oh, man.
Real quickly, let's take a small break. We'll be right back. We got some more topics of professional wrestling here on WH Radio on the Elite Podcast Network. One thing everybody needs to do is don't stop believing. And we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Drew Gulak, and you are listening to Wrestling Heads Podcast.
Oh my God, that never gets old. We're back. Small commercial there real quick. But there's a lot of shit that has been out here in professional wrestling. Let's start with the small stuff real quick and get it out the way. Like Taz leaving TNA. Question is he hitting WWE next? Question mark.
Yeah.
All right, well,
fucking bullshit. That wasn't me.
I think Taz eventually makes his way back to WWE in some capacity, whether he does go back to commentating, whether he, becomes like a trainer down in, the Performance Center. I think some way he finds his way back, because where else is he going to go? I think he wants to even go back to the WWE. And I think it's good because when Taz was in TNA, I hated him on commentary. I mean, he absolutely sucked. He was just terrible. Anybody that watches Botchamania, I think, knows this. Anybody that watched TNA knows this. And the reason is because when he was in WWE and when he was paired with Michael Cole, he wasn't as, how do I say this? Outspoken. He was given a filter in Michael Cole that he doesn't just start saying stupid and random shit. When he was in TNA and he has Mike Tenay next to him, he's going to say whatever the hell he wants because it's TNA. But I think Taz eventually makes his way back to WWE in some capacity, some way.
Well, I remember when Taz's TNA contract ran out, the last time it ran out, there was talk that he was in talks to return to WWE, but WWE had nothing for him. They didn't want him to do commentating or anything else. They just didn't have nothing for him. You know, I think Taz was willing to do like training, like what Billy Gunn and I guess who else was doing Ricky Steamboat, I guess, what they're doing in NXT. I think he was down to do that as well, but I think WWE had no room for him, so they didn't hire him, so he re-signed with TNA. I mean, he could do that. Maybe not at Tough Enough is coming back. He can be involved with Tough Enough like he did in past seasons. So it can work probably in WWE because Jackson was in Vince McMahon's doghouse at one point. But if you're gonna put him with JBL and Cole, you might have him replace Booker T probably. Well, that's a possibility. But there's a wild card where else he can go to. Maybe you guys haven't thought about this. Global Force Wrestling.
I think
what about
bringing that up? I think that's where Samoa Joe's going.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, because you know what, you just got me a light bulb there, because when I heard the rumor that Jeff Jarrett, or not rumor, but Jeff Jarrett posted that he signed somebody who WWE wanted, maybe that is Samoa Joe.
I think that's what it was. I really do.
That's really interesting, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Especially with him taking more indie bookings now than he was originally supposed to. I think that's something to think about.
Well,
yeah, possibly. I don't know.
It's
tough because, there were rumors that the Briscoes are going to go to WWE, and now those were confirmed to be, false because they just signed a new 2-year deal.
I think they were thinking about it. I think the rumors that they were thinking about it were true.
Yeah, and, I don't want to get off topic too much, but I mean, when somebody brought it up, all the stuff that the Briscoes are doing, they have their own business. They would have to, they have a big family. They'd have to move them all to Florida, give up their landscaping business and all that stuff. So hopefully they're getting paid, but I don't know. It's definitely interesting situation. Now they're staying in Ring of Honor. Who knows if Samoa Joe's going? It's really weird. It's really weird, all this stuff that's going on.
Yeah, but you see,
going especially back with Taz, Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but going back to Taz, does Jeff Jarrett have a commentary team? I mean, is JR in there? We don't know. So
I don't think so.
Yeah, so if JR's not on board, who else does he have?
Matt Stryker said at when we were at WrestleCon, and I asked him what's the deal with, because, Global Force does, some work with New Japan. I said, is there a possibility you returning? He said that's all on Lucha Underground. So he's Lucha Underground, for sure. It's not, he has a deal with Global Force, too. He's all Lucha. So, who knows? I don't see Taz going to Global Force at all. Because Global Force, they're not going to be like a show that's going to be on TV weekly. I think he's trying to get like a real nice check,
Yeah, you know what, Skits, I'm watching SmackDown right now, to be honest, and I'm looking at Jerry Lawler. I'm thinking, how many years this guy has left? Can he replace Jerry Lawler in SmackDown? I just put that aside.
I think you see the reunion of Michael Cole and Taz. I think that's imminent. Excuse me.
If they bring in Taz and get rid of Jerry Lawler, that's completely fine with me, because Jerry Lawler doesn't give a shit about what he's doing anymore.
Yeah. I think
he's completely
what would be ideal, because like I said, Michael Cole and Taz, they worked so well together. They complemented each other really well. And I think a two-man broadcast works better than the three-man broadcast group that they have right now with Booker T, Michael Cole and JBL and Raw, and then Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and Byron Saxton on SmackDown, I think a two-man group works better, and also JBL is fucking annoying. Can we get JBL out of there? He's so fucking annoying.
Byron Saxton sucks. I think that, what's his name, not Todd Grissom, the other guy. Tom Phillips is way better than, Tom Phillips is way better. Phillips is way better.
I wouldn't mind seeing like a Michael Cole Taz on Raw, and then have like an NXT commentary team on SmackDown, like Renee Young, Corey Graves, and I can't remember who else is on the team.
Renee Young is like right now the last person I would want to see. She is absolutely terrible at commentary. When she was down in NXT, she was god awful.
Yeah, she's terrible.
Corey Graves is a guy that I would like to see commentating on the main roster. I think he's improving really rapidly. Even when he did his first broadcast, I thought he was, he has the voice for it. He's well educated. He knows the business. He knows, the moves and all that. And he, that's what a color commentator is supposed to do, is provide insight and information. And I think Corey Graves is like the perfect guy for that.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely see. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say Corey Graves is actually really good on commentary. He was a terrible wrestler, I thought. It's not like he was terrible, but his style was so ground-based and technical that it was just boring, and it would put me to sleep. But his commentary is surprisingly really good.
Yeah. That's one thing that we'll see when Taz makes a decision. We all know he has his podcast too, so
Yeah.
Is the WWE gonna let him do his podcast? He could take that over to the network. That's another thing that that kind of wasn't said here.
Is his podcast currently hosted through Podcast One?
Blog Talk Radio, I believe.
Like Steve Austin. Oh.
Is it Blog Talk or did he move?
I thought it was Podcast One, but
I thought it was Blog Talk Radio at first.
It might have been, but I thought I.
Well, then Matt Jackson's not doing his podcast.
Well, there's two. I mean, not to go off topic too much, there's too many wrestlers who podcast. I can't keep up with all of them, and half of them aren't even that good.
I stopped listening to most of them, like Jericho's I could care less about.
Jericho's is the worst thing I've ever listened to in my life.
Jericho is absolutely terrible. The first 25, 30 minutes is him either shilling out advertisements and products or banging on that cowbell and singing. Like, shut the fuck up, get on with the goddamn interview. That's why I like Stone Cold. Stone Cold is so perfect in that interview role. He gets right down to business. When he does need to do advertisements, he does it hilarious. He makes you want to buy the product. But Jericho is just fucking annoying.
Yep, I agree. And it's funny that they got rid of Austin, or WWE Network got rid of Austin in favor of Jericho, and that from what I read, and again, you're never sure if this is 100% true, but it sounds to me like it could be. But Vince originally, when they decided to bring a podcast to the network, Vince originally wanted Jericho, and Triple H wanted Austin, and they went with Austin. And then after the last Austin interview with Triple H, Vince didn't like it, and so they brought in Jericho. So it doesn't surprise me. But when his podcast was announced for the network with John Cena, I'm like, yeah, I have no interest in even watching that. So
now that you mention it, it's really not that bad, to be honest with you. Just saying.
Skits, don't do this, man. Don't do this.
I mean,
it really wasn't bad.
I thought there was just such a big, significant difference in watching Stone Cold's podcast on the network in comparison to...
Man, Jericho's so political.
Yeah, and it's...
Yep.
When I'm watching these interviews, if I wanted to hear an interview about two guys just sitting down and having like a buddy-to-buddy talk, I would do that. But when you have these on the network, they're hyped up, to be like these hard-hitting questions, and you want an answer to this question, you're going to get it. Something that's been in the dark for so many years, you're going to get it. Would Chris Jericho ever ask Triple H about China in the Hall of Fame? Hell no. But Stone Cold is that type of interviewer where he's going to ask the tough questions and not give a fuck.
You know what? It was funny. I saw a tweet someone tweeted to Jericho that how come you asked Cena about how come you're not the one that got, or how does it feel that you got Carlito and Mr. Kennedy fired?
Stone Cold probably would ask those.
Yeah.
Or why'd you bury Alex Riley and make him into the bum he is now?
Yeah.
And
he's always been a bum, though.
Yeah, Alex, you know what? We should thank John Cena for burying Alex Riley. Thank you, Cena.
Go back to Eyes on the Ring from this Sunday and listen to my 10-minute rant about how much I hate Alex Riley.
Miz is worse, guys. Come on.
Anyway,
bad,
let's continue on.
Twitter wars with people that he can't win.
I have another lengthy topic we might talk about, but what's your guys' thoughts of possibly they're going to give the tag strap to the Lucha Dragons pretty soon?
I was definitely going to get to that. We go for it.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's not Extreme Rules. They give this tag straps because I feel like it's way too early. I rather
definitely not early.
What?
It's definitely not early. Who else you got in the tag division?
I'd rather have Cesaro and Kid keep them, not to drop them already in Extreme Rules. But
no, I didn't say to drop them. But to have them go after the titles is not a bad look. Do you want?
Yeah, true. I just think WWE's just getting too much. They're just all over the Lucha Underground's nuts. Not Lucha Underground, Lucha Dragons nuts. Because all those Lucha chants, and I guess the crowd really like these guys. They're like, oh, we gotta freaking give the Dragons to us already. I'm like, come on.
I don't know about them giving them straps, but the guys are good. You need somebody to take the Uso spot. Jay Uso's out.
I know.
So that's your tag team right there. Unless you want the New Day to win, or
why not
the New Day.
Look at why not? Can they have the primetime players feud against Cesaro and Kid right now, instead of having the primetime players being backstage mocking other tag teams? I think that's a team.
I'd rather see Lucha.
Go against them.
I'd rather see Lucha.
Yeah.
Dude, the Lucha Dragon impressions have been so fucking good. The Lucha Dragon impressions. The primetime player impressions have been so good. I'm with that.
You see,
yep.
I'm patient for these guys to get a tag team title. I believe they will have one, but I'm patient here. I'm sure a lot of fans are patient. The kids are starting to liking these guys.
Bring back Abraham Washington while we're at it, please.
Oh gosh, no.
So we can make a Kobe Bryant rape joke. Please do.
Oh, man. But, for right now, the feud with the Cesaro and Kid, I think Primetime Third is that tag team. But, unfortunately, they're just having them do backstage shit. But at the same time, if you give the belts to the Lucha Dragons, what's next with the Lucha Dragons?
For fucking putting on awesome matches.
You got to give them a rivalry.
Shit. They have a lot of tag teams. You can have them feud with primetime players. The primetime players. There you go. You want the primetime players? That's the next team.
I'd rather have them go at it now. But if you want them to go after the Lucha Dragons for feud,
I never said for them to get the titles.
Feuding. I never said feuding. Who will feud with the Lucha Dragons after they win the tag titles?
I never said for them to win the titles, though. I'm talking about them to actually get a shot at the title, not saying for them to win. You're talking about them winning. I don't want them to win. The
whole point
you need to see what you need to do is show your new talent at a pay-per-view. Everybody doesn't know who the Lucha Dragons is. Only NXT fans and a few fans that go to the main roster shows. You gotta have these guys on TV more, put them on pay-per-views, let them get known. I mean, we want them to be on Superstars and Main Event and shit. Like, nobody really cares about that. Like, you got to show the Lucha Dragons.
That's why I always laugh at people when they say that Raw and SmackDown sucks, because then I'll tell them, I'll be like, well, do you have the network? And if they say yes, I'll say, well, watch NXT. And then they'll be like, I don't want to. I'm like, well, then you're an idiot, and it's your loss. So, but I think it's too early for the Lucha Dragons to get the belts. Maybe they should get a shot at it, but
yeah, exactly.
I'd probably wait until June or July at least, before they even get close to those titles. Or even, I mean, June or July before they even consider having them win them.
I mean, they're on fire right now, so I would give them a shot. Fuck it, have them lose, have them win, but by a fucking disqualification where Cesaro and Tyson Kidd still get the titles. Like, have them have a little story with them. I mean, you can do it all types of ways. But you got to get the Lucha Dragons names out there. Primetime players, they already know. Ascension, everybody knows Los Matadors. You know, you got to get the Lucha Dragons out there. There's only 4 teams right now. Usos are gone. You got to get that new team out there.
Yeah. I still cannot believe how dead in the water WWE has made the Ascension. I mean, listen, the Ascension, they're not like a great team. Like, they're not as exciting as like the Lucha Dragons, but they could have worked on the main roster. You know, if you would have given them proper booking, it would have been, a contender for a good while. But they just, I mean, absolutely and completely fucking buried both of those guys' careers dead. I would not be surprised if they're gone by the end of 2015.
They will be. There's no question about it.
Like, just completely and utterly botched the fucking Ascension.
They took everything interesting that they had and basically stripped it away. And like that, I can't remember when it was, but there was a night when they basically got destroyed by a bunch of legends. And that's not the way. They probably thought that it was helping them, but that's not the way you do it, because it made them look like shit. And ever since then, they've looked like shit.
Maybe Connor and Victor can go to TNA with the rest of the Ascension.
Yeah, that would work, I guess.
I don't see the Ascension getting released anytime soon. I see them trying to do something else, like they finally get rid of the whole arm shit they have on and red dye in their hair or face paint. I just see them try to go back to the NXT ways, but if that doesn't work, then they're gone. That's how I see it. Just like the whole Fandango face turn. I mean, if the Fandango face turn doesn't work, he's gone too.
Nobody cares about it, period. Nobody's going to care about the fucking Fandango. That was pointless.
They should have took the Ascension as is, or meaning Vince should have took the Ascension as is and brought him up from NXT without the shoulder pads, without the stupid face paint, because it probably would have given them at least a little bit of a shot. But going back to what they were in NXT, I think it's too late for that. I honestly do.
Yeah. I think one of the big problems with when they brought the Ascension up, besides the obvious, what they did with the face paint and made them, like rip-offs of, the Legion of Doom and Demolition and all that, I think they needed to have a manager put into that position to be a part of that team. I don't know who could have been in there.
Sort of like a Paul Ellering in a way.
Yeah, like WWE doesn't give a shit about managers. I mean, if I could book it, I would have a guy like James Mitchell in there. He would be perfect. He would have been perfect.
That would be awesome.
But, like I said, that's booking in a perfect wrestling world, because, WWE doesn't give a shit about managers, only a couple,
Yeah.
Speaking about managers, I'm actually watching SmackDown, and it looks like Summer Rae is, I don't know, almost like a manager for Mizell.
Yeah,
she could be my manager any day of the week.
Well,
there's here's another
like
thing
I said,
that we watched. Mizdow was dead.
One thing.
Go back to being Damian Sandow.
Like I was saying, you gotta not expose like in a bad way, but you gotta introduce Lucha Dragons to the WWE audience. That's what I think. So I would not mind them having a match with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd at a pay-per-view, but just like Nathan said, don't give them the titles yet.
Yeah,
just
you
give
know
them
what?
a shot.
I do agree with you, Skiz. I mean, if you do have Cesaro and Kid lose by disqualification, then yeah, that would work. But at the same time, you gotta think this is Extreme Rules. I mean, it'd be weird to have a disqualification in this kind of pay-per-view thing.
Well, you can have them walk out. You can do all types of shit. You can have them just walk away from the match.
Yeah, or you could have like a triple threat match between Cesaro and Kidd, Primetime Players, Lucha Dragons, and Cesaro and Kidd and the Primetime Players instead of the Lucha Dragons.
And plus, another thing, they don't have like tag team matches. They usually don't have those as a Extreme Rules type of match, because right now, even though we just talked about Daniel Bryan is not even his match wasn't even an Extreme Rules type of match. It was just a regular match. So every match in that pay-per-view is really not an Extreme Rules type of match. But let's move on real quick. Got some more topics to talk about. Adam Cole, baby. And before we talk about Adam Cole, this is for you, Adam Cole.
Suck my dick!
All right, Adam Cole.
Are you trying to implicate something? Are you like the Orton of WH Radio?
Don't call me Orton. That guy just tried to invite me to his party here on Xbox, anyways. But anyways, Adam Cole there was a lot of rumors that him going to the WWE soon, but according to PW Insider, he's reportedly locked into a long-term deal with Ring of Honor, and he's right now he's rehabbing his shoulder. He should be back soon.
He confirmed that as well on another podcast that I listened to, so that I think he said it verbatim, so it's pretty much official. I think he said it was. He didn't say how long it was, but I would imagine it would be like a 2-year deal, at least.
Yeah, I just heard just a few hours ago that it is confirmed he did resign a Ring of Honor long-term deal, so he ain't going to WWE anytime soon.
And the thing is, I think Adam Cole can help Ring of Honor big time.
Yeah.
Because, right now, with their title, I know we always have this conversation about Jay Briscoe, as a champ, but before he got hurt, I thought he should have been that guy. You can have a Jay Briscoe, Jay Lethal matchup, and if the rehab is done and he's ready to go, you can always have Adam Cole show up in the middle of that match and attack both of them, and you can have a triple threat type of feud maybe, and I don't know, to bring them back. I don't know.
I almost feel like the Kingdom has to feud with the KRD.
Talking about.
Yeah, that seems logical.
Just because the Kingdom was so pissed off that the KRD, or people were assuming that they were the KRD. I think that's the only logical thing to do.
Yeah. So have Cole have Cole a part of that?
No.
If they're going to keep the Kingdom alive, yeah.
Yeah, because I just saw a video, one of their videos on the Ring of Honor's YouTube page that Adam Cole did mention that, that if the Kingdom has nothing to do with the KRD, and if we were the KRD, if I had something to do with being the KRD, I would not wear a mask or some shit like that. So you kind of diss the KRD in a way. So I mean, that could start something there. But my question to you is, you guys, Big said that if Cole comes back, he had to go against the KRD. But even if Jay Lethal wins the title, what will you do after Jay Lethal? Will you put Cole against Jay Lethal? Because there's going to be a time that Lethal's going to have the title for a while if they do give him the strap,
Cole's the guy. Cole is that guy.
So you rather see Cole against Lethal?
Hey, you don't see no quiz over here.
Yep. Lethal all day. Lethal.
I think you wouldn't do that right away. I think maybe wait on that. In between them, I still think Lethal's, going to win the title, best in the world. Probably in between them, I could see a Lethal Michael Elgin feud. Actually, no. I keep forgetting Michael Elgin's heel. Maybe they could do that. I don't know.
I don't know about Elgin. Ever since Elgin's turned heel, I have no interest in the guy anymore. Period.
He's completely soured on me ever since he did that whole thing about he won't do podcasts without getting money for it, which is completely stupid because if you're trying to promote yourself, that's not the way to go about it. Like, oh, we'll give you money to be on our podcast? No. And I've spoke to a couple people on Twitter that have said that they're, willing to fork over the money, but I wouldn't do it personally, and I know, I've met the guy, meaning Michael Elgin, and he carries himself as a giant douche, and I'm just, he's completely soured on me.
Don't let me go there. I met the guy, and every time I pass by him, he asks me to buy a T-shirt. But I don't want to go there, and I don't want his T-shirt. By the way, I only have one.
What I'm talking about, though.
I don't want to go there. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to share. You didn't want to share a Daivari story.
Oh, you can share that. Daivari's a bum.
I know. $150 to be on our podcast.
We're not talking about Daivari from Ring of Honor. We're talking about Sean Daivari, the bum.
Okay.
So this bum Sean Daivari, I'll piss off Sean Daivari any day of the week. He's a bum.
Well, I'm friends with his brother, but I'm not going to tell him that.
Oh my God!
We're talking about Daivari, the one that used to be in WWE and also TNA. This guy.
No,
I guess he had a conversation with Oscar, and he said, "Give me $50, I'll give you my number and my email." Suck my dick.
All you have to do is believe.
Jesus.
He sounds like he's killing me.
Sorry.
Anyway, getting back on topic instead of burying a bunch of guys.
Only one.
JT Dunn tried to do that to one of the shows on our network too. He tried to charge $35 for 45 minutes. Stop it.
Wow. Wow.
Hopefully that wasn't
Nathan, I am blaming you, Nathan, for this whole conversation. I'm blaming you.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't know where I was going to go.
But you know what? I will say this: for every douchebag like Daivari and Michael Elgin, there's 20 great indie guys and girls that take the time out of their nights and day to come on these podcasts, free of charge, and they have the greatest conversations because they're down-to-earth people. So you know what? Fuck the people that want to charge so much money to get on podcasts, and let's embrace the guys and the girls that come on these podcasts and, give us their time.
I will say, I would like to say all views and everything that have been said on here do not reflect the Elite Podcast Network. Do not unsubscribe. Do not give us a bad review. Do not do anything bad towards us. We are just kind-hearted people.
Just some quick news. Tamina Snuka should be coming back to the Divas division. That's for all you Diva fans out there. NXT touring internationally.
Am I supposed to care?
Right? I'm so with you.
Hey,
Man.
it's all good. We probably got Diva fans out there listening right now. Probably got a girl that loves Tamina Snuka out there listening.
Give Divas a chance? Fuck that, man. Come on.
Anyways, NXT touring international tour. How you guys feel about that? I love it. According, I guess William Regal was part of the UK tour that they just had, and I guess he mentioned there's plans on NXT touring internationally, which shows smaller arenas.
I'm with it. Bring it to Canada.
I was actually shocked that they want to go that route this early, because at first I thought they want to do the U.S. first angle outside the U.S., but if they're gonna go that route, go ahead, because I can't be mad. I just saw them in San Jose, so.
In that case, man, NXT is not even a developmental anymore, man. It's a third brand. Like, you can't even call it like a step up to the main roster. You can't really call it anything anymore. NXT is a third brand.
Pretty much.
A step up to the main roster is actually a step down, because you get, I don't know, things just seem way better in NXT than they are in WWE.
I'd say 90% of the time you're right on that, but Seth Rollins is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion right now.
No,
yeah,
I
forget who mentioned it. Somebody said the only positive about going up to the main roster right now is the money. You're going to be making, even if NXT does tour, you're still going to be making a shit ton more money when you go up to the main roster. You're going to get more exposure. So that's really the only positive. Other than that, there's really not much incentive to want to go up to the main roster besides the money and the exposure.
Well, especially
now
that NXT themselves is touring.
I was going to say that you're actually right about that, Tom, because WrestleMania weekend I saw Scott Dawson, and I don't know why I said this. I'm just being nice to the guy. I said, I can't wait till they call you up. He said my bank account can't wait either. So it's definitely money for sure.
Wow, the struggle's real, bro. The struggle is fucking real.
So
that makes me sad.
Jesus Christ! Now you know why the Young Bucks and Ricochet turned down WWE development.
Yeah, and you know it's funny. I just you're talking about this NXT main roster. I'm watching Neville against Sheamus right now.
That match was awesome. I really liked it.
What match?
Sheamus and Neville. I guess Neville just won by DQ.
Yeah, I think you guys are probably going to watch SmackDown, because I didn't watch SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really watches SmackDown. It's kind of like TNA.
I usually don't watch it, but I was home tonight on a rare Thursday, so I figured I would. But that Sheamus Neville match was really good. That DQ was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Speaking of Neville, the man that Gravity forgot is there's talks that the first person that he's really going to be feuding with is none other than The Miz.
You see,
I have a question for you guys. Is that truly awesome?
Negative.
I don't get that, because right now it seems like they're trying to in the storyline bury The Miz, because right now Miz is how can I say this? It's how can I say it? It's like Sandel or Mizdow is taking his spotlight away, and Miz is going away slowly. It's just, you get me?
Yeah, but just to be clear, this feud won't be happening anytime soon. It's going to happen later in the spring. So that's Neville's probably his first feud in the WWE right now. I guess right now he'll just be coming out and having great matches with guys. Real quick, moving on, there's been some big news today. Ring of Honor also throughout. The Bullet Club are coming to Ring of Honor.
And I will be in the house for all 5 members of the Bullet Club, and that is too freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
5 members are
this
going?
was expected.
AJ Styles, Doc, Carl Anderson, and the Young Bucks.
Yeah, once again,
Makes sense.
disappointed, no Kenny Omega. You know, I mean, do people, nothing against Doc Gallows, but if you ask people, would you rather see Kenny Omega or Doc Gallows, what do you think people are going to say?
I mean, you can bring fucking Kenny Omega along, and
yeah,
he could
yeah, and like I said, it wasn't a big surprise because, you know, the Bucks are in Ring of Honor quite frequently. You know, AJ Styles is back and forth. You know, Anderson and Gallows are, you know, here and there. So it wasn't a big surprise. And, you know, we've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. That's what this whole thing with Ring of Honor and the New Japan shows in Canada and Philadelphia have been, is there's been no new surprises except for Naito. I mean, imagine if they could have gotten Kota Ibushi to appear. Kota Ibushi versus ACH, that would have torn the houses down on both Canada or Philadelphia, wherever they did that show. The city would have burned to the ground because people were so happy. That's how good the match would have been. But
Yep. And you guys probably saw that Kota Ibushi AJ Styles match from Attack. That match was freaking awesome. That finisher was absolutely insane.
If you don't watch New Japan, God bless you. And I'm definitely talking to you, Matt.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I was talking about this earlier. You know, Tanahashi isn't the same as he once was, and I know they're bringing him in because, you know, he's the biggest guy in New Japan. But if you're going to bring a Tanahashi and he's not anywhere close to being 100%, he's injury-ridden and all of that, just bring in Kota Ibushi. It's not going to affect anything else. You know, you could have spent that money.
You got to also think, do these guys have their visas, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Ibushi has been in and out of the U.S. for the past couple of years. He's appeared in Chikara and all these different promotions, so I don't understand why he couldn't come back unless his visa expired.
He could be booked that day. But yeah, maybe hopefully some Ring of Honor fans will write some letters and shit, get some better guys, some newer guys next year.
Well,
if they
I'm
keep doing that.
I'm wondering too who Tanahashi's opponent's going to be, because last year at this time when they brought in people for War of the Worlds, they gave Tanahashi Michael Bennett because they said that Tanahashi was injured and they wanted him to have a safe match. So, but I'm just wondering if they're going to do that again this year to protect him, and who they would have wrestle him.
I mean, if I were to guess, I said that they with Tanahashi because he's even more injured than he was last year. I said that they were going to put him in a tag match. They were going to pair him with the Ring of Honor guys to go against either some New Japan guys or some ROH guys. For some reason, I don't have a feeling that he's going to be doing a singles match.
Or that could work if they team him. If they team him with a Ring of Honor guy, they could go against a Ring of Honor guy or another Ring of Honor guy and a New Japan guy. So I actually like that idea because it would protect him and he wouldn't have to do as much. So I mean that could work. It all depends on who his partner would be and who would be on the other side of the ring. But I'd be down with that.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll definitely see what decision route they go, and hopefully they make the route the right route. Question is, we know Rocky Romero and Trent also work with Ring of Honor. Will they be a part of that?
I think that's a given.
I think they should. They gotta put them in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm well in RPG Vice. You know, they're probably. I mean, right now they're probably becoming one of my favorite tag teams so quick, just because it's such a breath of fresh air for both. I think Trent and Rocky Romero, and they just bring something new and different to both New Japan and Ring of Honor. I mean, I think they should hold both titles, to be honest. You know, I think they should be the ones that take the titles away from Red Dragon. You know, they took the IWGP Junior titles.
I think you're a little slow on this one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, you see, I totally forgot because I hated that decision that the Addiction fucking won. That's how much I hated it. Fuck. You know what? There's my plans. Fuck that. Well, you know what? RPG guys should take the tag titles off the Addiction next week. Fuck it.
As soon as possible. I could see it happening during those Global War shows, though, for sure. Like some sort of tag titles, which I don't see Addiction holding those titles for a while.
You see a title change happening on those shows?
Absolutely.
Because I don't at all.
They did it last year with the Bucks and Red Dragon.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I forgot about that.
I really see it happening.
It just depends what Ring of Honor is planning to do with the KRD. If they're really going to push them as a serious force in Ring of Honor, or is it just
what if they do War Machine in the Addiction for the belts? Like I could see something like that happening.
Yeah, War Machine. They've been on fire since they got back together, since Raven Rowe came back.
Or hell, the Killer Elite Squad. I know fucking Ring of Honor's been bringing them in.
Nah, I don't know. I don't see Killer Elite Squad doing I don't think they're gonna be a part of it.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. I was just throwing it out there.
More news. I know Oscar, and you could probably correct me on this guy's name. Laredo Kid. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah. From AAA?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's rumors of him about WWE.
Yeah, it's likely he's headed down to NXT.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting what to do with the guy. I think the guy is still pretty young. I'm familiar with him from the AAA product. It's great that he signed with them. I'm not sure if he knows English or not, but we'll see what he does. They give him a new mask, probably, like what they did when he signed the original Sin Cara, and they changed his name and everything like that. But it'd be really interesting. Before he signed him, I was thinking maybe he might join Lucha Underground, because they're friendly with AAA, but it looks like he signed with WWE. He's going to head out there and wish him luck up there. But it's interesting to see what he will do when they bring him into NXT or the main roster. I just don't know what we're going to do with him.
Same could be said about half the guys that are in NXT though currently. Is that when they or when you hear about specific signing, it's you don't know what they're going to do once they get out of NXT.
Well, in this situation, it's okay, what he's going to do when he gets to NXT, is he going to, this is not a question mark. Is he going to keep the mask on? Is he going on mask? Is he going to do a new gimmick, dumb gimmick? We just don't know.
Yeah, Professor.
Hey, but sometimes it works. Look at Del Rio. Hey, sometimes it works because look at Del Rio. He came in, took off his mask, and it worked.
Yep, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I remember hearing that he was originally very pissed off that they wanted him to take his mask off.
Hey, I don't blame him because he is the son of both Stardust and the nephew of Mini Mascaras, and he did start off his career wearing a mask, and I would understand why would he want to, why would he take his mask off, and I don't blame him getting kicked off.
Well, it's
always
surprising to me that once once he got released that he didn't put the mask back on if he was so mad about it.
Because he developed a fucking star named El Patron. Real quick, I just want to throw out some matches that have been booked in the indie scene. I know we get on this guy a lot. CJ Parker. April 18th, he is booked at XWA against Air Fox.
You mean CJ Parker?
That's what I said, right?
You said TJ Parker.
I definitely didn't say CJ Parker.
I thought you said TJ Parker. When it sounds like you're going to mention TJ Perkins. Parker.
Sorry to get back on a different topic, guys, but Raven put a blog post out saying, and this is going back to our Daniel Bryan conversation earlier, that he had 8 concussions he knew about by 2001. Just think about how many he's had since
then.
That's crazy.
That's scary to think about.
You're saying Daniel Bryan had 8 concussions in 2001?
Yeah, apparently he knew that he had 8 concussions in late 2001. That's pretty nuts.
It's funny that you bring up concussions. I mean, shit. I know this is a whole different sport, but hockey players, like, imagine how many concussions those guys have too, and some of them are still playing.
Football players.
I don't know, man. I think wrestling's a sport of its own, man. I think it's probably the toughest sport going today. I think people don't realize how much effort, how much shit goes into wrestling. Like, I get that, in football you get tackled, and hockey you're on ice, but man, they go in with pads, they go in with all this shit.
Yeah.
Really?
You know what's funny? I think I heard this from Dolph Ziggler saying that we get injuries that guys like from the we get the same type of injuries, like the guys from NFL will get, and they'll be out for the season. We won't be on the season. So just put that out there.
Yeah, it's like why? Yeah, it doesn't even make sense, to be honest.
Well, look at JBL. He was a football player, so he got his knee injury in his football career. Then he went to wrestling, and look where they got him.
It's a weird situation. That's for sure. Yeah. I don't know, man. This whole Daniel Bryan thing is really kind of worrying. I personally think you should just hang it up if it's that serious.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said earlier, I don't want him to kill himself or not.
We don't need
to kill himself, but
we don't need to make you work in the ring
or something. And by the way, I just saw that Weekly Wrestling Podcast retweeted a tweet that said that Taz unfollowed Josh Matthews on Twitter. So that kind of leads into the whole speculation of Taz might be going to WWE, because why else would he unfollow someone?
Or he just doesn't want
to.
Or he just doesn't want to follow a bum like Josh Matthews, because nobody really does.
Yeah, that's true, because Josh Matthews is a clown.
Josh Matthews is like more worthless than the fucking shit that comes out of my ass.
I love that nowadays. That's how people know when people are on bad terms. Like, oh, they unfollow them on Twitter. Did you see CM Punk unfollow WWE? Ooh, that's some. Look out.
Or when or off some. It's funny. I heard the same thing about here. When over here off wrestling, I heard that when the Kobe Bryant unfollowed Dwight Howard, they made a big deal about that.
Like, who gives a fucking shit? Who follows who on Twitter? Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
It's hard enough to go on Twitter and actually see somewhat intelligent posts, but apparently I'm reading TNA released Mr. Sonata, so he's gone from the company.
I mentioned that to Matt earlier.
Well, yeah, it's TNA. Do you think I really pay attention?
You know what's
I
funny?
don't.
You know what's funny about TNA? I read about the whole thing that pretty much Destination America runs TNA, and they're against having them tour in the UK. That's
I was
crazy.
just going to mention that. And it sucks to be in TNA because that's where their money stream comes from. Because you got to remember that people still like TNA over there because they haven't figured out it's terrible yet. After 13 years or however long.
Hey, but out there in the UK, there's just some diehard fans out there. Like, they just pretty much see it like this: if like WWE or TNA comes to their country, they'll just go, you know. And
by the way,
hopefully we'll see some of their fellow Europeans getting there. Like about a year ago, what's his name? What's his name? Wasn't the freaking British Invasion?
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, yeah, he came out and he had a huge pop. I mean, then now this year you have Drew Galloway, and then I believe he's still part of it. I don't know if he's in a short-term deal, but he's still part of the show.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm so against TNA, I mean, I'm really, really against TNA right now is their world champion, Kurt Angle. Come on.
Another sad fact about TNA is that they've been in business longer than WCW has now, which makes me extremely sad.
Wow. Well, I don't know if I want to say that really counts because remember WCW was the Crockett promotion before WCW. Then they were WCW Mid-Atlantic, whatever. So.
Yeah, but I'm just going off of when WCW broke away from that and then ran on their own because that's what people are saying. Like, from that single run of just WCW, a lot of people are saying, oh, TNA is older than WCW now. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's what people are saying.
Well, like I said, Destination America doesn't want TNA to go to the UK anymore. They're fucking idiots. And I think they're idiots from having Destination America.
Ring of Honor has been running longer than TNA.
Oh, they've been running longer than TNA.
Wait, what's been running longer than TNA?
Ring of Honor.
Yeah, by like 2 months, but
there's
a difference there.
You know what?
They know what they're doing.
Ring of Honor is going up. TNA is going down.
I agree.
So
yeah, I wasn't trying to knock TNA or ROH by saying that because I really like ROH. But it's just something that I figured I'd bring up.
Anyway, there was one thing that we haven't discussed, and we're kind of nearing the end of the show, and it's I know it's probably big news for Mr. Matthew Grant and everybody in Canada and anybody who has this certain cable network. Fight Network is going to be showing House of Hardcore beginning Tuesday, May 12th. They're going to be doing 8 one-hour shows leading up to the July 18th show in Toronto. What do you guys think of this?
Is House of Hardcore any good? Because I've heard very mixed reviews about it.
I didn't like it at first. I mean, because they had like old guys, but now they're trying to bring like a lot of guys that are relevant in TNA book there. The Young Bucks, you know, it's always good to see the Dudley Boys. Eddie Edwards was booked. I think Eddie Kingston was booked once. There's some good books. Del Rio.
Well,
it's not bad.
I'll tell you this though: the last 2 shows were better than the ones that me and Skits went in San Diego. But I mean, going to the Fight Network in Canada, that's good for them. I mean, but just want to know what how the roster is going to look like. You know, I don't think they're going to bring guys like the TNA guys down, or maybe
TNA guys can work anywhere though.
No, but I don't know about
they're basically an indie now.
And another thing, I don't think when they have it on network, I don't think they're going to be on like weekly. You know, I think it's just like when they have like their like iPad reviews and shit.
Yeah, I think this is just this is just kind of like a short-term deal, like, just to lead up into the House of Hardcore event happening in July in Canada. I don't think it's anything long-term, but I think it's still good. I saw House of Hardcore years ago when they were first starting up. They ran actually pretty close to me, and I was like, I'll check it out. And it was good. There was obviously, some of the time I don't want to see the old ECW guys. It's good for nostalgia, but I will say, at least with House of Hardcore, what separates it from all those other, ECW, remembrance promotions like Extreme Rising, like what they tried to do there, which that was a piece of shit promotion. At least what they do is bring in new guys, and they bring in a lot of indie guys to go against that. I remember seeing Sami Callihan on the show. He faced, I believe he faced Rhino, and it was a good match. I liked it, and it definitely showcased Sami Callihan. And there was a lot of people that didn't know him. I mean, I knew him at the time, but there was a lot of people in the crowd that didn't know him before. But after the match, they were like, oh, shit, this guy's pretty good. And this was back, I think, 2011 or 12. And then, a few years later, he's in WWE. So it gives a good showcase for the ECW nostalgia while bringing in some indie guys. So I can give them props on that.
Yeah, but the question is now, I mean, what Skip was mentioning, like, could he bring TNA guys to the House of Hardcore show or the TV show?
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Didn't they do that for the last one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bobby Roode and Austin Aries?
I can tell you one thing, guys. There will be no Jeff Hardy on that show.
Oh, wow.
I wonder why.
Why is that? Did I miss something?
Man can't cross the border.
Yeah, you know what I thought of it? Maybe they can, because I think Tommy Dreamer and Dixie Carter, they're like really close.
Oh, no. Like he has legal problems. He can't cross the border. He will not be on the show.
Jeff Hardy can't go anywhere. He has to stay in the United States. He's probably banned from a couple states.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He ain't banned from California. I just saw him at WrestleCon. So
fucking guy.
But Matt, I want to get your thoughts, because this is happening. Fight Network, I believe, is more prominent in Canada, and you're most likely going to be going to the House of Hardcore event. What do you think of this whole thing going down?
I'm with it. I'm totally with the whole House of Hardcore event. And I know you guys already talked about Kurt Angle being TNA champion, but it's leading to a greater cause, guys. EC3 is going to become champion, and Spud's going to cash in his X Division title to become world champion. It's leading to a greater cause, guys.
Ha 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 ha.
See?
Nobody's still going to care.
Are you being serious about that?
Come on, man. Spud's going to be world champion. What's wrong with you?
Listen, I had Rockstar Spud. I like the character, but that would be like Spike Dudley being WWE champion. So if you want Spike Dudley to be WWE champion, that's fine. But Rockstar Spud, he's 150 pounds. Like I said, it's a good character, and he's funny, and he plays a good underdog. But a world champion, and no, keep that title on EC3 for.
It's just the foreshadowing of EC3 saying you could be a world champion someday, and the whole X Division to world title thing.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. It's great storytelling if it does happen.
Ever since they instated that you can cash in the X title for the world title, I hate that ruling, because it makes the X title look like shit. I know, the argument's there that, you want to win it now because it would increase your chances of at a world title shot, but I just don't like the idea because it devalues the one belt.
See where you're coming from.
Yeah. It's like, I know they don't want to straight copy WWE with the Money in the Bank briefcase, even though I think they do that already with the Feast or Fired thing that they do. But I just don't like them sacrificing the importance of one belt to get to another.
I mean, Spud, as champ, if Booker T was calling that match, he would say,
"Oh, shucky, ducky, whack, whack."
Best soundbite ever.
God damn it! God.
Wow. And if Iron Sheik was calling that match, he'd be like,
"Fucking bullshit!"
I can't believe I can sound SmackDown.
You guys are having way too much fun with those sound bites. Too much fun.
You gotta blame Matt for those. He put them on.
And if John Zandig was calling it, he'd be like,
Jesus!
Wow. We've
My
stopped.
God.
At least it's not a
Hashtag Axel Mania.
Alright, I'm done. I'm
Ladies
sorry.
and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Heads Radio, where we spam sound bites. Thank you for joining.
Don't stop believing!
Do that one.
Alright, we're done. We're done. Stop. Stop.
I'm laughing way too hard over here.
Sorry, guys. The only reason why we're playing this sound is because we're like close to the end of the show. I know Oscar's over there probably pissed. I haven't heard him talk in a while.
Well, yeah, because I'm a little pissed. I just watched SmackDown and I saw Cameron beating Natalia.
well, at least she didn't pin her with her fucking stomach to the mat. Stupid bitch.
Yeah, and then funny thing about SmackDown, I didn't read the spoilers, so I didn't know what was happening. But I said I tweeted the show on the Eyes on the Ring account, and I said that if Cameron won, I would drink bleach. So I had a bunch of people tweet at me and tell me to drink bleach because Cameron won. So
Jesus.
next time I'm not going to say stuff like that. Or at least if I do and it's SmackDown, I'll read the spoilers first so I know.
Well, I'm expecting like a YouTube video to be uploaded or some sort of like test on air, like maybe Sunday night we can make that happen. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Real quick though, before we go off air, just letting everybody know, next Monday, 4/20, the Brian Kendrick will be here live on WH Radio as we talk to him about his dojo, his school. Talk to him about Quintessential Pro, and some more.
You know what else we're going to
wrestling
talk to him
talk.
about? What's
Best for business.
Oh my God! So we'll be on here talking to Kendrick on Monday. Also, I believe tomorrow there's gonna be a Wrestle Chat show. I think Matt Grant, and I'm not sure who else is joining him.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I mean, if I get some interest from, open invite to anybody that's on this show and anybody who's listening in. Probably going to happen around, 7 o'clock my time, which is 4 p.m. California time. So check it out if you're, bored. I don't know.
Definitely. Also, another announcement. We have decided to come back on Thursdays. Me and I are talking today. They're shows on Fridays, and we always have to go to Thursdays when PWG's on Fridays, so it makes sense for us to go back to Thursdays. So we are.
And plus PWG announced like, go ahead, man.
Oh, plus just like I said, PWG shows are usually on Friday, so it's always good for us to have shows on Thursday or whatever. So.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, now we know the next couple of months that, if PWG has a show once a month for the next 4 months, we're gonna keep going to Thursday every month. Might as well do it every week. Fuck it.
So mark that on your calendar.
Yeah, and also anybody listening that's from the SoCal area, I just want to let you know, May 15th, AWX is doing a special show in honor of Red. He's doing a fundraiser for him. So if you guys want to attend, go for it. It's on May 15th on a Friday at the same place in Southgate. So check it out. You know, it sucks that guy passed away, and they just want to do a fundraiser for him. And there's going to be a couple of names from the past who's going to be there. Buggy Nova is actually she's going to be returning to the ring. So
who's that you said?
Check out Buggy Nova.
Oh, okay.
What about Joaquin Noah returning to the ring?
What? This fucking guy.
I'm tired, man. I'm sorry. That's what it sounded like. Oh, man.
Real quick, just letting everybody know, if you have social media, you can follow Wrestling Heads at Wrestling Heads on Twitter, Instagram, Wrestling Heads, Facebook.com/Wrestling Heads, blogtalkradio.com/Wrestling Heads Radio for the old school shows, and yeah, you can find us here on the Elite Podcast Network, and I'm at WH Skits.
Well, okay, you can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to be doing some work on the site pretty soon. I'm going to bring back my fucking classic match of the week. And I'm working on something else. I'm waiting for this picture. So I'm working on something new on the website. So keep an eye on that. And Greg, if you're listening, yes, my classic match of the week is coming back. So don't wet yourself.
Hey, Oscar, I've been hearing you're gonna bring back the classic match of the week for as long as I've heard my brother's gonna get his passport, so I'll believe you too when you actually do it. Now, done with the bearing. You can follow at Weekly W Podcast for all the best independent wrestling news. You can check out the Elite Podcast Network at Elite Podcast Net and check out the best and independent wrestling podcast, including this podcast you're listening to right now. ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHeads and /WWP and /IndiePower for all of your Elite Podcast Network t-shirts. I think that's pretty much it. Just continue to support the Elite Podcast Network and everybody on the team.
Oh, yeah, and one thing I want to say, the people that's listening that's from the California area, tomorrow night at the Wrestling Guy store, Lucha Underground Zone, Evilise will be there between 7 and 8 o'clock. Yep, she's going to be there signing autographs. So just for 1 hour, she's going to be there. So, yeah.
Oscar, can you give me an autograph?
Okay, I'll lie to her and say my name is Matt Grant. And she'll be like, wait. She's looking at me like, you're not white, but okay.
No, you didn't. Stop it.
Just say, are you going to take any sign from our friend Matt?
Oh, man.
Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at @2tweetme. That's my only social media account. I'd also like to say, check out youtube.com/WrestlingHeads. Past shows and interviews are on there. Also check out youtube.com/Weekly Wrestling Podcast. I know Mr. Matt Graham just finished up 2 interviews with Brian Myers and Speedball Mike Bailey. I recommend you check out both of them. Great interviews from 2 great guys. So check that out. Like everybody said, check out the rest of the shows on the Elite Podcast Network. Tons of shows, tons of content. Support it.
You know what I'm going to say? No, I'm going to say before you get on that, you know what I'm going to do? I believe I'm going to say, for this big kid, Matthew Grant, can you sign his autograph for him?
Tell her I have a crush on her, man. Do whatever you want, man. She's fucking gorgeous. Oh, my God.
Nathan, go ahead and put yours on, bro.
You can follow me on Twitter at Headliner5. You can follow Eyes on the Ring at Eyes on the Ring. Visit eyesonthering.com. And if you want to pick up a shirt, visit Dartees, that's DARTEES.spreadshirt.com. Lastly, be sure to like us at Facebook.com/EyesOnTheRing.
Yeah. Are your eyes actually on the ring, Nathan? Are your eyes really on the ring?
Not right now, because my eyes are on my phone, because I'm scrolling through Twitter and looking at my phone while I'm doing this. But
I'm fucking with you. I'm done today. Fuck this.
Real quick, I just want to say, brand new.
You know what, Grant? I'm going to give that pun a 4 out of 10.
I think I've won it.
The Bret Hart rating, yeah.
My puns. That's it, guys.
I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, we have a new Wrestling Heads t-shirt. Go get it. Wear it. I'm getting mine. I'm getting more. And it's coming to the nearest promotion, giving it out to some guys. Raise, yours is coming.
I got one more. Shout out to my boy Ethan Page for a wedding invite.
Shout out to Page.
Oh, wow. All right, so Ethan Page, I'll see him in the next BWG show.
Oh, yeah. Official ego taking over the world.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I'll just let everybody know, from California, Lucha Underground's taping this weekend. I will go Sunday because that's going to be a taping for Ultima Lucha. So check it out. I'll be there. I wish Skits could come down, but, man, fucking NBA playoffs. Fuck, man.
Nah, fuck the NBA playoffs. It's Dodger baseball.
Oh, yeah, Dodgers, too. Well, come on, the Rockies, what? Come on.
Hey, I got to get this money, bro.
Yeah, I feel you.
Do the shmoney dance, man. What are you doing? Let's go.
Money. Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking millions of dollars, but oh well.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's what I
thought. We are we are heading off air, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestle Chat tomorrow, Sunday, Eyes in the Ring, here on the Elite Podcast Network. And let's Too Sweet, everybody, with a
Too Sweet!
Peace.
Peace.